Hello, ADN students, and welcome to Pediatrics. I want to go ahead and do this video announcement just so I can kind of walk you through my D2L site. It's probably a little different than how OB is set up, so I just want to kind of give you an idea because Peds is going to move very, very quickly, where we've got exams every other week, and then of course we have these 2 weeks off in November. So let's just go ahead and dive right in and see kind of what I'm wanting you guys to do before class on Monday. So I have 4 modules for pediatrics. The first module is going to be growth and development and assessment, and then modules 2, 3, and 4 are going to be all the body systems. So I've only been teaching this class for a few years, and I feel like I've changed it a bunch of times each time I've taught it because I find things that work well and I keep those, and the things that don't work so well and I remove those from the course. So one of the changes that I have made since I taught this in the spring is I've eliminated some of the chapters that I feel like, and it's not that they're not important, but I feel like it's kind of a waste of my time and yours for me to go ahead and lecture them in class. So by removing some of these chapters, it makes for smaller tests for you, which is a good thing. And it lets me spend a little bit more time on the disorders that I feel are going to be the most important and things that are going to show up on your ATI and then, of course, your NCLEX. So in this Module 1, it's probably been a while since you guys have had me for theory class, so I always include a reading assignment. So the reading assignment on the D2L, let's go ahead and open it up. Excuse me. We've got your McKinney. Those are going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. It sounds like a lot. I understand that. But these are all review chapters for you. So I am not going to spend some time covering these. These are your growth and development. So what age can a child roll over? Which they're not dogs, but you know what from when they can roll over from their back to their stomach or their stomach to the back. When do they develop gross motor skills? When do they start developing these fine motor skills? Because those are absolutely things that ATI covers. But I want you guys to make sure that you are reading those chapters. Now, on Monday in class, I will cover Chapter 4, which will be communicating with children and families. And it seems like that would be a really simple thing to do, but I'm going to show you about how maybe some terminology is scary to children and maybe some ways that we can talk a little bit differently to them. And then we've also got Chapter 33, which is where I will cover the physical assessment of children. Now, I am not known typically for showing a lot of videos, but this is one night where I actually will. So I'm going to show you an assessment video on a pediatric patient. Then there is the ATI corresponding chapters. And then, as I mentioned earlier, this semester I give you guys extra credit for every single exam. So the pediatric assessment video is the extra credit that is tied to exam number 1. And that is Module 1 reading assignment. So let's look at the rest of it. So we've also got the McKinney PowerPoints, which those are just the ones that come with the textbook. You guys know I don't typically use those for class. Here are the student PowerPoints that a lot of times will correspond either with my stuff that I'm going to cover in class. They probably will not have all my instructor notes on them, but it will give you a pretty good idea of a skeleton framework of what I am going to cover in class. I also spend a lot of time developing a lot of charts. I'm a hands-on person, and a lot of times I am stimulated more by charts and graphs. So I've got some of these things in here in those formats. So here's one on developmental milestones. Here's one on cognitive play and infants, infant reflexes. Those are always huge for ATI. And then language and social developments of the infants. Now, these are not specifically from your ATI, so please compare what ATI says. I tried to match them up as much as I possibly could. So look at them, get an idea about when reflexes should appear and disappear, and the same thing for language and social development. And then here is the criteria for the extra credit. And then down here are my recorded lectures. And again, like I said, there's a lot of them. So I've got a brief intro to pediatrics, growth and development, one for the infant, one for the early child, middle childhood to adolescence, caring for children. And then these are the kinds of things that I eliminated. So I am removing pain, I am removing medication administration, It's not because I don't think that it's important, but it's just kind of something I need to quickly address and move on. So I do suspect that these things will be on your ATI at the end of the semester. So you don't have to look at them this week, but do have, when you're studying for ATI, maybe go back and listen to them. There is some good information in there, but again, it should all be reviewed to you. So that is Module 1. Module 2, I have went ahead and opened as well. Module 2 is going to be the first part of our system disorders. So just like with Module 1, I've got your reading assignment, I have your McKinney PowerPoints, and then there are your student PowerPoints. I believe that I will be covering Chapter 40 in class on Monday if I can get to it. That should be your Fluid and Electrolytes chapter, which you recall I covered that a year ago in cardio. So again, a whole nother review day. And then we're going to start into the heavy hitter disorders. So I'm going to start right out of the gate with those infectious diseases. That should be week 2. So that's going to be those childhood diseases that develop when kids don't get immunized. So I'll talk about measles, mumps, German measles, chickenpox, the bacterial and the viral components. Then I'll talk about immune alterations, so that'll be your children with immunocompromised disorders. Then I will hit GI. GI is a very large chapter in pediatrics. And then GU, and that will wrap up the content that will be on your exam 2 stuff. Again, I've got some theory resources for you. Your extra credit assignment, that will be for exam number 2, which I actually have you guys do a wellness card assignment. It's a really cool thing that I do every single year where we create greeting cards for the children and the families that visit St. Louis Children's Hospital. So it's a really cool thing. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's really therapeutic to kind of do some art. It's just something I like to do, and the families and the kids up there really, really like them as well. Here are my recorded lectures. I've got the infectious ones covered, your immune alteration, your GI I broke down into different syndromes, and you can see that when you get in there. And then I've got your GU lecture as well. Module 3, I'm still working on. So it is not open to you yet, but just to kind of give you an idea of what you're going to see, that will be, in my personal opinion, probably the most difficult exam of the semester, because you've got respiratory, you have cardio, hematologic, cancer, and then the chronic disorder, how to care for a child with chronic disorders. I have also got your extra credit, which I can explain a little bit more on Monday if you guys have questions or as we get closer to it. And then the reason why this one's not open, because as you can see, I only have the respiratory and the cardio done, which was a huge undertaking itself. I still have hematologic to finish, and then the cancer chapter. And once I finish those recordings, I will get it open to you guys. So bear with me. I'm working as quickly as I can to get those done so that you do have those available to you. And then Module 4, this will be the last stuff that will be on the final. I do not have a comprehensive final because you have an ATI, so that's about as comprehensive as it gets. So my in-class exam will just cover the final chapters that I cover those last couple weeks. So tissue integrity, so those will be your skin disorders. Musculoskeletal alterations, so those are things like cerebral palsy, not cerebral palsy, I'm sorry, muscular dystrophy, casting, because broken bones happens a lot in kids. Endocrine alterations, so that'll be your diabetic kiddos. Neuro, that's another pretty big chapter. There's quite a bit of neuro stuff. And then the last 3 are actually really quick, and I'll cover all those on our very last night of lecture. So that'll be your psychosocial disorders, developmental disabilities, and then the last thing will be sensory alterations, so your hearing and vision. So again, exam 4, not as bad. In my own opinion, I don't think it's as bad as exam 3, but of course, everyone has different thoughts on what's bad and what's not. Here's things on traction, here's things on hormones, endocrine diagnostic labs, extra credit, and then again, if I can get to those recorded lectures, I will create you some recorded lectures as well. Okay, so that is pretty much pediatrics in a nutshell. We will start class on Monday at 5 o'clock. And my intent is not to give you a quiz the first night. I am planning on giving you 5 quizzes throughout the semester. We have 7 nights that we meet, so I am not planning on giving you a quiz on Monday night. So you are welcome. You know that's not very characteristic of me, but I want it to kind of be easing you into PEDS, getting started because we do have an exam the next week. So we're going to spend that time wrapping up the final bits for exam 1 and then jumping into content for exam 2 that night. So if you guys have any questions, please, you guys know how to reach me. Email me. I'm very good about responding to emails. And then, of course, I'm certainly welcome to entertain questions after class on Monday night. So enjoy your weekend. I hope you guys have at least started the readings. And then, of course, class will last until 8 o'clock. So again, questions, comments, email me. I'll get back to you as quick as I can. If not, I will definitely see you guys Monday night. I'm excited. I love this class, and I hope you guys get a lot out of it. So, all right, see you soon.